2 weeks and counting before the US presidential election. The campaign is relentless. Kamala Harris in the Midwest, supported by former President Barack Obama. Meanwhile, Donald Trump made it to North Carolina, where Storm Ellen caused major damage last month. In the crucial swing state of Pennsylvania, election workers are under pressure, some of them facing threats. Republicans are casting doubt on the integrity of the vote in the upcoming presidential election already. They're making their voices heard in town council meetings and in the streets. The Democrats say that MAGA Republicans, that's basically the Trump ultra supporters, are pushing disinformation to undermine the whole voting process, setting the stage for claims that the vote was stolen. Bear in mind, this is even before the vote's been cast. Our correspondents Jessica Le Masurier and Fanny Chauvin visited Luzerne County, where local officials are on the front line of what is already a contentious election.
In the battleground state of Pennsylvania at Luzerne County Courthouse, Trump supporters hurl insults at Democratic lawmakers.
Fascist! Shame!
On the agenda, a legal dispute over drop boxes, secure, locked structures where voters can deliver their mail-in ballots, traditionally used more by Democratic voters. Trump supporters, including TJ Fitzgerald, say they can lead to fraud.
Let's have some integrity and make sure that only United States citizens can vote, and make sure that our votes count and no illegals do.
Non-citizen voting is illegal and extremely rare. Democrats say misleading claims are an attempt to suppress the vote.
Multiple analyses have shown that it is more likely someone will be hit by lightning than commit mail ballot fraud.
Romilda Crocamo, the woman in charge of elections here in Luzerne County, became concerned about security after she received threats. She's made sure that the drop boxes are bolted to the floor. There are surveillance cameras and boulders around the building to prevent vehicles from ramming into it.
This political climate, it's beyond hate. It's venom. It's frightening. I think we're a microcosm of what's happening in the country, and we are in the front lines.
Claims of widespread voter fraud are false.
Efforts to sow doubt in the integrity of U.S. elections is really about trying to undermine faith through repetition. It is about getting attention on the claims of doubt and not about actually trying to address security of the vote. I think what is likely is incidences of like stochastic terrorism, where you have incidences of violence across the country in various places.
Democrats are going door to door in Luzerne County because here every vote will count. They say the Republicans are spreading lies, laying the groundwork to contest the outcome if Trump loses.
It's psychological warfare. It's a blatant attempt to spread propaganda, to spread disinformation among Democratic voters. I think that it probably will turn into somewhat of a lengthy court battle.
Officials here hope that disinformation and distrust won't lead to a nightmarish scenario on or around Election Day.
Some disturbing images there in the report by Jessica, who joins us now live. Jessica, good evening to you. Tell us more about what you saw, what you witnessed in Pennsylvania.
Well, disturbing images, you're quite right. It's a pretty disturbing situation when you look at what is going on there and when you think about the fact that it really reflects what is going on in a lot of counties across America, especially in battleground states where every single vote is going to count. Now, I attended that council meeting, just a local council meeting, which normally should go off without much ado. But this one lasted for 3.5 hours and really descended into chaos, largely because it was attended by a group of MAGA Republicans who kept shouting things at Democratic lawmakers like fascist, and it got very heated, with some of them almost getting thrown out of that meeting. Now, the main focus of that meeting was on whether or not there should be drop boxes for this presidential election. Now, drop boxes are those secure metal boxes where a voter can place their mail-in ballot if they wish to deliver it in person or, vote ahead of the election and be sure that it gets there, that it arrives. And the Republicans were saying that, well, these drop boxes could be subject to fraud. And the Democrats were saying, well, no, they are extremely useful, especially as Democrats tend oftentimes to be the ones voting using them. And they are perfectly secure and instances of voter fraud are extremely rare, you're more likely to get struck by lightning than commit voter fraud in the United States. So it got very heated. In the end, they are having 2 drop boxes in Luzerne County. But the experts, a professor who we spoke to for that report, told us that really what he thinks the Republicans are trying to do is lay the groundwork so that later on they could contest the election results if Kamala Harris were to win. And certainly there were lawyers watching that meeting and other meetings in Pennsylvania very closely should this become an eventuality.
Why, Jessica, is the state of Pennsylvania so important?
Well, the state of Pennsylvania is arguably the most important swing state in this election because it has the most electoral college votes up for grab. It has 19, that's more than any of the other battleground states. And so both sides, both campaigns are really vying for each and every vote in those states. They've pumped an awful lot of money into their outreach. And it was really eye-opening for me to see the grassroots activity taking place, knocking door to door, targeting in particular independent voters. You see in the end of my report, there's the lady who is opposite that sort of Trump House of Horrors almost with the Democrats are paedophiles signs, which were really quite shocking and extreme. And she's an independent voter, but she has said that this year, no, she's definitely voting for Harris due to this extreme rhetoric. But both sides are really going to try and get each and every vote. You will remember that Pennsylvania was key in the last election, that Biden ended up winning Pennsylvania, but that in 2016, Trump flipped Pennsylvania Republican for the first time, I believe, since 1988. So really both sides working hard to try and win Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania, the place to watch. Jessica, thank you for giving us that briefing of the situation on the ground. Valuable information, as always. Jessica Le Masurier, our correspondent. We will continue to bring you, between now and November the 5th, all the developments on the campaign trail in the US presidential election. Next, it's time